Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right-hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
How's it going, Josh?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, it's such an honor to be able to talk to you about a brand new album from Cinder, The Machine, which just came out today through Artist War Records. I mean, this is an album that I wasn't sure was ever going to see the light of day, you know, given the backstory of the band and everything, but I'm glad to see that you guys have reconvened and easily made one of the most structurally sound albums of 2019. I love what's going on here with that awesome sound that you guys were able to start in the beginning of the band and just like filter it through a 2019 filter, and it sounds so great for that reason.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, we're extremely proud of the album and honored to have the opportunity to, you know, get through certain doors again. We're very thankful for Artist War Records for providing that avenue for us.
So, with that in mind, how did this all come to be?
Well, the band that was left over from the early 2000s, after the leaving of the label, got together with Mrs. Scott Bush, formerly of the Nixons, just to play, just to jam, and just do clubs, small clubs in southern Florida, to make some money and play as artists. And having done that, we decided to maybe let's write a song together with no intentions of doing anything with it. And we were so surprised at the outcome of the song. And the song's called Sounded Like Goodbye. It's on the record. And how easily it flowed and how it made us feel and our adrenaline pumped that we just looked at each other and said, that's it, we're doing a record.
Oh, that's so great to hear that too. I mean, you know, just the idea of like writing a song just to see what would come of it, you know, just possibly just writing it for yourself, maybe playing it live, but you know, just when you hear the final outcome of the song and knowing that, yeah, you have to go out and write a full album now. I mean, that's got to be such a great, gratifying feeling.
It is, and it's not a feeling that we've had or felt in such a long time, and it's almost drug-like, if I would say. The adrenaline, the positive attitude that the band has, and the gratification that we all have as musicians.
Yeah, and I totally hear that throughout the album too. I mean, there's such a great diversity of sound that's going on there. I mean, no matter how heavy or radio friendly or alternative everything's getting on the album, I mean, it feels like such a great overall positive vibe that's going on throughout the album, and it feels like a real band album, which is so great to see that.
That's where we all come from. We all come from the time when growing up you get excited for a new product to come out, whether it's an album or a CD or whatever. You look at it, you look at the artwork, and you open it up and you see lyrics and you listen to the song, the album from song one to the end of the album. It takes you on a journey. That's where we come from. So that's why it was so easy to do something like this. Each song on this album has its own entity and own spirit. We went into writing it not to copycat the song before it, but to let the next song be its own, because they're so, and you can hear that the differentiality of each song that's on the album.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you take a song like Free Fall Junkie and then you look at something like Suicide Girl and then you go all the way to the title track at the end, I mean, there's so many different great genre bends that are going on throughout the band, and it's great to see that growth throughout the band too, you know, like through all of the hard times and now seeing more of the positive sides that's going on in the band right now.
Yes, that's we're very proud also from this album that we as a band did it ourselves. There was nobody else. It was us, members of the band, that did it. We wrote it. We recorded it. We produced it ourselves. I went in saying that I want every member of this band to play not like you think you should play, but play like you've always wanted to play throughout your whole life as a musician. Play that guy, and let's see what kind of sound comes out of that.
With that in mind, I mean, obviously with wanting to be the best possible band that you can be and just wanting to be the musicians that you've always wanted wanted to be. I mean, how long did it take until the album like really started to feel full?
Feel full?
Yeah, like
I
think... just like yeah, this is going in the right direction. This is the way that we want it to be.
Oh, after song 2. After the second song, it was okay. This is it. We're doing a whole album, and it's going to be at least 10 tracks. It's not going to be an EP. We're not going to settle for EPs anymore. It's going to be a full album, a full experience. We're gonna put the songs in order that they naturally should be, so that you can experience the album on its own.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it too. I mean, with all of the tracks that are on there, I mean, if it was to have been an EP, I mean, it would have left me wanting a lot more. But with the LP, I'm so grateful to hear like all the different sides of what's going on with the band right now, and really hearing all of you coming as musicians and playing what you wanted to play and make it feel like the way that it should be.
Yes, very gratifying. Very gratifying.
So obviously with that in mind, I mean, of course, with writing the first song and then the second song, knowing it was going to be a full LP and going the way that it was going to be going in, I mean, how long did the songwriting process take once you started getting all 10 songs?
Well, it took 4 years, and the only reason it took 4 years is because our guitar player, Scott Bush, lives in Nashville, and the rest of us live down here in Fort Myers, Florida. And it's just scheduling between us working as musicians separately and down here to getting time to be in the studio together. That's the only drawback, the only time constraint about it. It would have been a lot sooner, but it took 4 years and took the time it needed to take.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important too. I mean, no matter what's going on with the band, personally, the business side of the music of the world, whatever the case is, I mean, if you got that time to be able to make the LP the way that you want it to be, that is going to make it worth it, and that's exactly what I hear with this album.
Yes, we were very lucky because Scott Bush, our player, is also an engineer, and he has his own home studio, and so we could take our time and not feel rushed by money or the hours of a normal studio.
Yeah, and that always helps too. I mean, especially when you have the know-how of how to make an album, like what you're looking for in the sound, and then being able to, like you said, be able to sit down and take the time to be able to get the sounds that you're looking for, see what works, what doesn't, and really just make this LP the best that it possibly can be.
Absolutely, and we had time to do experimentation as well and have fun with it.
With it in mind, I mean, obviously with being able to sit and record this from home and rather than going out and renting a studio, what kind of parts with that experimentation were added to the album that might not have been there originally?
Jeez, that a little bit of everything for everybody. I mean, taking from the drums all the way to the vocals, just the time and the freedom to do. I mean, there could be some cool guitar solo parts that we stumbled upon after so much time working on it that we wouldn't have had the opportunity to find, or some melodies that we wouldn't have time to, stumble across eventually that we did if we were in somebody else's studio.
Yeah, and again, that's the other great thing. I mean, again, when you know what you're doing, when you got the right people that you want to form this band with, you want to be able to continue to write original music with after you start writing original music again. I mean, that's such a great gratifying feeling, and when you are able to sit down and you're able to try these different things, and then when you finally hear that final product, I imagine that had to be a great gratifying feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Felt like kids. I mean, on Christmas, it's a revitalization of life and doing what you love.
And with that in mind, I mean, obviously with the album coming out today, how does it feel to have today be the day that the world gets to hear some new Cinder?
It's a little overwhelming. It's a little overwhelming today. There's a lot of attention coming suddenly, and grateful for it. I haven't had the chance myself to look it up on the platforms that it's available on yet today. So I've been told it looks great and sounds great.
Oh, yeah, and it's amazing to think about. I mean, when Soul Creation came out back in the early 2000s, and now when you look at it now, I mean, like the whole platform of music has changed so drastically since then. I mean, what is that like for you, knowing how people are able to experience music now?
Well, I think it's, you know, you can say what you want about the digital age and social media, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it has given us an opportunity to reach people through avenues that were not there for us early on, and people who have not yet heard of Cinder because we didn't have those platforms right now. So we're just excited to be able to, reach these people that we couldn't before.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that too. I mean, there's an entire world right now that is able to experience new music from Cinder right now, and any platform that they want to be able to check it out, both physically and digitally, now because of the world that we live in right now. And I mean, that's going to be such a great feeling to know that you can come back now into this new world of being able to build a full LP out of this, and just really being able to showcase it to all these different people around the world.
Yes, I'm very thankful for that.
So, with that in mind, with the new album coming out today, The Machine, I mean, what was it like to work both musically and lyrically throughout the album?
It was freedom. It's the word I go to for that. It's just the freedom to do and to write the way I want to write. That I feel it's natural to me, and then when I hear it, I'm going, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, and I imagine that's got to be, I mean, again, with that feeling of freedom that's going on there, and going back into how the whole album was made from the creation of the band from all fronts, and yeah, I mean, when you're looking at that lyrically as well too, I mean, it's great to be able to have that real, true freedom of expression.
Absolutely, very gratifying.
So, with that in mind as well, I mean, obviously, of course, since the early days of the band and now getting up to now, technology has changed so much when it comes into the recording process and being able to do things from home. I mean, what was it like now? I mean, looking back from those early days to now, what was it like for the recording process for you, for like being able to try out different things and different instruments and microphones and stuff like that?
Well, different ways to be grateful for all that, because the experimentation part was great, because not only did we have the tools to do so, but we had the time to do so. But also with how we can be at home or be in another state and have this great idea that just comes to you in the middle of the night, and to take that in the middle of the night and put it down and send it off to somebody else in another state, that moment, so that they're in the moment as well.
Was there any examples of that particularly happening on the album?
This album is flooded with examples of that, so I can't really be specific on that.
Oh, that's all right though. But that is such a great thing too. I mean, whether you're using Dropbox or just like sending the files through a different way or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you are able to work as a band that doesn't need to be living together, living in the studio to be able to make an album, and you're able to still live your lives and work on something that means so much to you. I mean, being able to do both of that's such a cool thing to see happen now in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does take cramming all the guys into one room to get some heart and soul into it, but it makes it so much more convenient to be able to, like I said, when you have an idea in the middle of the night, to send it off.
And with that in mind too, I mean, obviously, being able to work from home, being able to get together and do the final touches and everything, when it comes into the latter parts of making the album with like the mixing and the mastering and stuff like that, like how much effort did it go into making sure that the album was going to sound sonically the way that you wanted it to?
We were lucky enough to be introduced to our engineer. His name is Chris Collier, and he just somehow immediately got the band. He got the feel of it. He could hear where each one of us wanted to go with what we were playing or singing, and he took it and put kept that heart, didn't cover up the heart and soul of it, but put that crispness on top of it just to give it the life it needed.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was gonna point out with that as well too, is there is so much freshness and crispness that is going on with the productions of the songs that really give it a new life that, if it had any other kind of production, may not have worked as well.
Absolutely, we completely agree with you. Because when we were done, we sort of engineered it ourselves originally, and we were very proud of it at that time. We could have released it at that time, but when we heard it come back from Chris, there was no denying it.
Oh, absolutely. So again, I mean, once you got everything recorded, mixed, and mastered the way that you wanted it to, I mean, the final overall presentation now, being able to have a great album cover to go along with the album, where did the idea come from to use this as the album cover?
It was presented to us by Kevin, who did the artwork for us. And it was his interpretation of the machine and what it meant to him, and after he listened to the album, because the band ourselves, as individuals, didn't really have a visual aspect because we were inside the box. You know, we need somebody to step outside as a listener and as an artist, because that's what he is, to step out and visually interpret what we did. And I think he surprised us with us. We weren't expecting that album cover, but we were very, very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the album cover, and I think it is such an excellent representation, especially of like the title track, but also throughout the entire album. I think it's a great way to the state of the world and where the band is at right now. I mean, it just perfectly showcases where the band is at right now in 2019 and gives you such a great feeling of what to expect once you finally sit down and listen to the album.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, not a problem. So again, with all of this in mind, I mean, today being such a great day with the release of the machine now through Artist War Records, I mean, what was it like going through the label process again and finding the right label to have Cinder attached to it?
Well, we were extremely hesitant to get behind another label, get with another label, because of our depressing letdown from Geffen Interscope, and then our bad experiences on other independent labels that we were in contact with. But Artist War Records, Lucas Joyner, they believed in us so much, and they have opened doors and broken down barriers that we could never have ourselves. And I'm just so thankful for them and their hard work.
Yeah, and it's so great to see that too. And yeah, I can imagine that hesitation that's going in there as well. And I'm so glad to see that a label like Artist War Records was able to have that much faith in the band. I mean, they have such a great roster that's going on there right now, and of course now being able to have you guys a part of that too. And I've seen so much promotion that they've given you that I've personally seen before I even got the album, let alone all the promotion since I got the album as well. I mean, it's so great to see a label that really is truly pushing the product that they stand behind.
Yes, and they've got that old school feel to them where labels don't do that anymore. Labels used to find, believe in, and nurture bands through their growing process, and invest in them with their time and their support. Labels I don't see that anymore. And Artist War Records has stepped up and let us be who we are without trying to change us, without trying to influence us, and just, okay, we believe in you guys, and here's our support 110%.
Yeah, and again, it's so great to see all this happening too, because, with what you guys have been through, I can always see how bands just say they don't even want to be in a band anymore, create music anymore, with all the outside influences and bad things that can happen to a band. But, just after seeing all this time, all the lives that you guys have led to this point now, and now just seeing this turnaround and seeing all of this great positive things that's happening with the band, an amazing label, an amazing lineup, such a fantastic album. I mean, it's so great to see all of this happening for a band that I was able to discover on the radio with Soul Creation back in the day, and always wondered what happened, and now being able to see where you guys are with this amazing new album, it's so great to see where you guys are at right now.
Oh, thank you very much for saying that's exactly how we feel.
So again, with all of this in mind, I mean, with all of these great things that are going on right now, and of course today being record release day, I mean, what's going to be happening next with the band?
Well, it's not only the record release day, the single release day, it's also the singles video release day. And Mr. Cody Hoffman did an amazing job with our video. I believe that's on all platforms as well. So our next step is to make sure we're roadworthy and friends and fan worthy, so that we can represent this album to the best of our ability and to connect with the people who love and support us.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely going to be checking that out once I'm done editing and processing this interview, because I want to see what it's like to see a brand new Cinder video going on right now. I mean, obviously with some of the singles I've been and the music that's been released since the reformation of the band. I mean, but again, it's great to see like so much promotion that's going on with the band right now. And now seeing that you guys are getting ready to go out and play more live shows in support of this album, I mean, that's such a great thing to see.
It is, and it's exciting. It's a little scary, adrenaline-wise, in a good way. So, like today, we're doing a full dress rehearsal, if you'd call it. We're getting sounds in a live venue, just so that we're ready. When that ball drops and they say go, we're ready to go.
Yeah, and I see that there is a record release show that is coming up and this weekend for the album, and it's so great to see that was able to be lined up that way too. I mean, when you are able to do it the same weekend and being able to promote a return album for Cinder, and then being able to help perform that album live, and just like show what the band is capable of in 2019. I mean, as much as I love the album on record, I can't wait to hear what this thing actually sounds like in a live setting.
Thanks for saying it. And we're very pleased to be doing this show in our hometown. To thank all of our friends and family that have supported us for all the years locally. To launch us live, and then so that we were ready to go out and play for those who have loved and supported us worldwide.
And with that in mind, I mean, obviously with getting the dress rehearsal going on there and doing that record release show, I mean, like, what should people expect when you guys finally hit the stage live?
Well, I hope they're they're pleased with it. I think they will be. We're so excited to be doing it, and so proud of the music we're playing that it's definitely going to show on stage. It's going to show live. It's going to be It's going to be visually as exciting as sonically it is.
Oh, and that is just so great to see that too. I mean, given that full representation of what a live show can be, and I imagine this is going to be like one of the most gratifying shows that you guys have done to date so far, being able to do this record release show. I mean, just like everything that's going on in your world right now, and then everything that'll be coming up in the future as far as live shows and any potential albums in the future as well. I mean, it sounds like it's an amazing time to be in Cinder and a great time to be a fan of Cinder.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to be doing what I'm doing and the opportunity I have, and we're going to make the most of it.
Oh, that is so great to hear that. And I think with that, that's an amazing note to end on. Thank you so very much for taking this time to talk to me about everything that's going on in the world of Cinder right now. And of course, the brand new album, The Machine, which is available today through Art is War Records. I love this album from start to finish. I love the diversity of the sound. I love the authenticity that's going on there. The production work. Everything just feels like it's the way that it deserves to be right now. And it's great to see everything moving forward the way that it always should have been. And in 2019, with the worldwide support that is now able to happen now that it might not have happened to in the past, I'm grateful to see that happen for you guys now, and I can't wait to see what happens with you guys next.
Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate you.
Oh, not a problem. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I hadn't brought up yet?
Let's see. This the track "Rocket Boy" that's on the record. I wrote that for Scott Weiland.
Oh yes, yeah, and I remember how instrumental he was into the beginning of the band too. And it's so great to see that there was such a great, touching tribute to him on this album.
Yes, because we collaborated with him in 2001 on the first record. There was a song called "Lush" that he co-wrote with me, and then he also produced some of the record. Very sad in his passing, because we wanted to, just because it's passing, but we also wanted to work with him again. So we were writing this song musically, and it just hit me it hit me. Scott would really like this song. So I was reading an Esquire magazine article, one of his last, where he opened up about his life and his addictions and his troubles, and he talks from everything from his father to his stepfather and mother, to joining the band and the drug experiences and live shows, and it was just very touching. So I actually quoted him from the magazine article in some of the verses, and then elaborated around that, wrote around that, so it was almost like a biography.
Oh, and just hearing that right now, when I go back and listen to that song again, again, I'm gonna have a whole new appreciation for that, because I knew the song was written for him and inspired by him, but knowing how much that went into that song and lyrics in particular, I think I'm gonna just have that much more heartfelt meaning behind it when I listen to it again.
Awesome. I hope so.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, again, thank you so very much for taking this time and be able to talk to me about everything going on in the world of Cinder right now. Like everything I said, I'm so happy to see where you guys are at right now in 2019. I hope everyone picks up the machine when you guys are able to start touring and playing live shows. I hope everyone listening to this goes out and checks out you guys, because being a fan from originally with where you guys were and now being able to see you guys now in 2019, I'm just so happy to see it. And like I said, I can't wait to see where you guys go next.
Thank you very much, Des. Appreciate you.